A face-off is brewing in the skies above Ghana. Africa World Airline, a new Ghanaian registered private sector company formed with the sole vision of making air travel an option for majority of travelers within the markets in which we operate. Africa World Airlines was incorporated on November 15, 2010 and received its air carrier license from Ghana Civil Aviation Authority (GCAA) in March 2011. Conceived by homegrown Ghanaian entrepreneur Togbe Afedi, recently unveiled an ambitious $50 million joint venture with China's HNA Group. HNA, the deep-pocketed owner of Hainan Airlines and Hong Kong Airlines, has joined Ghana's state-owned Social Security and National Insurance Trust in making a minority equity position in Africa World. Togbe Afedi, the Chief Executive Officer of Africa World Airline, elaborates on the historical background of the company.
SAS Finance Group is a firm of investment bankers. In investment banking, what you do is you help companies to raise money. But we have taken the concept of investment banking to a different level, where instead of waiting for clients to come and we help them raise money, we conceive a business idea and then bring investors together to raise that idea. So we see ourselves as being the business of creating businesses. And we, in doing that, try to identify areas of need in our country. And we saw, as far back as in 2008, the aviation sector as an important area of need, consistent with government's desire to establish Accra as the hub of aviation, the sub-region. We thought that for us to do that, we need to have a very strong domestic airline. We know that government earlier attempts at achieving that have not been successful. So we thought of coming in to establish Africa World Airlines. And the return from the UK of my friend, Mr. Pigi Afenu, in 2009 gave a lot of impetus to this dream.
Africa World Airlines was actually registered in November 2010, and we then set off going through the certification process. Okay, with the Ghana Airport, Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, the airport company, the ministry, and other government agencies. Then, fortunately for us, as early as March 2011, we got what they call the air carrier license, ACL. That actually would have allowed us to operate, within this country with a foreign-owned aircraft. You understand? But we decided to go for what they call an AOC, the Air Operator Certificate, because we really wanted to own our own aircraft. So we went through the process, and sometime early September 2012, okay, we got the AOC, the Air Operator Certificate. That gave us, the right, okay, to commence commercial operations, okay, within Ghana and the sub-region. So in terms of operations, we launched our inaugural flight on 21st September, and that date was chosen for a purpose. The company is called Africa World Airlines, and our vision is to be able to use the airline to connect and to unite the people of Africa. And September 21 was the birthday of Kwame Nkrumah, and when we talk about Africa unity, there is no better reference than Kwame Nkrumah. So that is why we launched on 21st, which was his birthday.
The airline has recently taken delivery of 2 new and modern ERJ 145LR jets to commence its domestic and regional operations. The route network is structured to create a hub-and-spoke model centered upon Accra. This will allow a seamless one-change connection between multiple city pairs.
Service quality, pay more attention on the customer feeling. So after I arrived here, my strategy is how to touch our customer, just make a friend between us. First, as an airline, you should prove something and get our customers to recognize you. So that is a strategy for service.
We've been doing reasonably well, the domestic front. In January, our market share was about 7%. In September, it rose to 11%. But the good news for us is that we are not just out there to chase market share. We want to do it in a reasonable, financially viable, sustainable way.
At the moment, Africa World Airlines has 2 domestic destinations. We fly to Kumasi. We also fly to Tamale. The Kumasi flights, and both the Tamale and the Kumasi, twice a day. First flight leaves Kumasi 7:20 in the morning, and it goes again in the afternoon at 10 minutes past 3. For the Tamale flights, we have a flight that leaves at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we have another flight that leaves at 5 minutes after 12.
Africa World, I think so far we've distinguished ourselves in terms of on-time performance, in terms of safety. Safety is not something you can actually, demonstrate. You understand? But what we have done is to take it to another level. Okay? And we are the only airline that has a flight quality assurance program. I might even say the whole of this sub-region. I don't know what happens in East Africa and all those places, where we have software on our flights. We call it Quick Access Recorder. Okay, that monitors the performance of the pilots. Okay, and these are decoded. Okay, so that if there are any violations, for example, quickly, okay, those pilots are called to account. You understand? I'll give you a classic example. If the taxiing speed, okay, for example, is 10 knots, and the pilot goes at 11, you might not see anything wrong, you might not know, but hey, it's a violation nonetheless. You understand? So we've taken, safety to another level.
There's a lot that goes into managing them, as you know, with every computer system, garbage in, garbage out. So we make sure that they are managed very carefully. No, they are not more expensive to manage. In fact, because of the glass cockpit concept, it makes other things a lot simpler. Things which we would normally have to outsource, we can take care of right here in Accra. A certain amount of the maintenance is done. Most of it is done right here in Accra. We have maintenance support from the providers in China, Grand China Aviation, and we're also looking for other maintenance organizations to provide us support at short notice. But most of it is done here, and it's done excellently. We have a very, very good team of well-trained engineers and technicians who are taking care of the aircraft at the moment.
The airline has a team of very professional and well-trained pilots and cabin crew to guarantee comfort and safety for every passenger on board. Our pilots and cabin crew share their experience on board the new and modern Adjei 145LR jets.
The aircraft is a fully equipped high avionics next generation aircraft. Probably one of the best we have on the market. It has a 0 fatality track record, more than 1,290 of them produced. And that's what we've been using since we started with Africa World Airlines.
My priority as a cabin crew is to first and foremost ensure the safety of passengers, and secondly to render exceptional service to our dear passengers.
They go through a lot of training before we put them on board. We have training such as firefighting training, first aid training, we have dangerous goods training, we go through water survival training. Then after that, we take them through in-flight service training, where we give them the flair, the skill to serve passengers with a class. Apart from that, the crew are taught to speak well. They are told what to say and what not to say. There's a limit to how much they can say, and we tell them to always bring in information from passengers. So they write voyage reports, and we always follow up with the reports they bring in. Because if we don't follow up, we're going to lose passengers. We always make sure we follow up on every passenger complaint or even recommendations.
Miss Rachel Bianchi Kwashi is the youngest female pilot in Ghana. She shares her dream of flying and her current job with Africa World.
Okay, I decided to become a female pilot because it was a childhood dream of mine, and I always thought it was fascinating because of the aircrafts and things we had to do. Africa World has been really welcoming to me. They've given me room to maneuver in terms of growing as a pilot and as a female, and I'm very grateful for that.
Let's hear from some of our cherished customers who fly Africa World on their moments with the airline.
It was a colleague in the office who introduced me to the airline because we joined somewhere last month. So far, the journey was so smooth. You don't really feel the bumpings in the air like some other airlines.
Africa World Airlines is the only airline whose configuration, gives me some satisfaction because it has one row of seats that are single, just like we have with the VIP buses. I think that is very peculiar and unique to African World Airlines.
When I sat in at first, I didn't know what to expect because this is my first time. But I have actually enjoyed it. Comfortable, enough space, peaceful, serene atmosphere. It's nice.
I really enjoy it. I'm quite tall. I'm over 1.90 meters. So I still had space for my legs, what usually the most important part is for me, and I felt really safe.
It's evidently clear that Africa World has become a preferred airline to many Ghanaian travelers. This gives rise to another markets flying outside the country. Within 5 years, the airline hopes to add 8 larger aircrafts, probably modern Airbus 320s or Boeing 737s on routes to Abidjan, Abuja, Banjul, Conakry, Dakar, Harare, Johannesburg, Lagos, Luanda, Ouagadougou, and Port Harcourt.
Over 5 years, right now, I think it's very critical. And this year we pay more attention and eye on the domestic flights. And the next year we'll go out to the regional markets and deliver and introduce the bigger aircraft such as Embraer 190 and Airbus 319.
Commencing from next week, we shall be getting new aircraft into our fleet. We want to be able to connect West Africa to Europe, to Asia, to South Africa, indeed to the Americas. One important desire we have is connect the sub-region to Brazil and therefore to Latin America, between which areas there is no direct flight now. You want to go to Brazil, you may have to go to Dubai by Emirates, or go to Portugal, or go to South Africa before getting to Brazil, which makes the journey time probably 4 or 5 times what it should be. So we want to grow our fleet for 2 most important reasons. One, because in this business you need a certain minimum capacity to be able to turn profits, and we believe that capacity would mean at least 10 aircraft or more. We also feel the need to have adequate number of aircraft so we can achieve our objective of connecting Ghanaians and indeed West Africans seamlessly across the South region and beyond. And that is why from next week you would see that we'll continue to add very consistently to our fleet. By the close of next year, I think we must have at least 10 aircraft in our fleet. And the business environment justifying it, we should be able to have more. And we have a strong partner in these strong partners who can make that dream possible. Hainan Airlines said it's one of the fastest growing airlines, one of the few 5-star airlines in the world.
Hainan Airlines is the best safety airlines in China too. And Hainan Group, right now, the total assets has reached 120 billion cedi now. So Hainan Group, as the one shareholder of Africa World Airlines, have strong ability to support the EWA to be the successful airlines in Africa.